your home for high school football. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310 and WOBMAM.com.
Well, among the 27 teams playing in the state football playoffs this weekend, maybe one that's a bit of a surprise, the Lions of Jackson Liberty. They are 4-5 on the season, but have earned their way into the Central Jersey Group 4 bracket, and they don't have to travel far tomorrow night. They'll head to Brick Memorial to take on the top-seeded Mustangs. Jackson Liberty's head coach in his third season is Jim Sharple's good enough to give us a few minutes tonight, Coach, and obviously going in a game like this is a decided underdog, so I'll ask you the obvious question, at least to some, would be, would you prefer to be playing a crossover game this weekend against a like opponent, or are you okay with going in to a tough spot tomorrow night against the top seed?
No, this is exactly where we want to be. A couple years ago, we made the playoffs, went up to Colonia, and we hung in there a little bit. But these are the guys that you want to play. This is what I want to show my kids. This is where we want to be as we build our program. We definitely want to be, like a Shore Conference powerhouse sometime down the road.
Coach, as we look through your schedule, I think the game that got you into the playoffs was a couple weeks ago when you upset in overtime a pretty good Point Pleasant Borough football team, giving them their only loss on the season.
Yeah, it was a great night. It was our senior night, probably our biggest win in our program's history, and the kids showed up. It was Coach Curry's offense that we faced that he left behind at Point Borough, and hopefully it was a good tune-up for tomorrow night for us.
And, of course, that win, by the way, earned you the Jersey Mike's Team of the Week, and your kids got to munch on subs during the week, which was pretty good, right?
Oh, yeah, it was great. That they showed up the next week, and the kids loved it. My defensive line coach, who's on some diet right now, couldn't really get into the sandwiches like he would have a couple years ago. Coach Giannetti, if you haven't seen him lately, he's half the man he once was.
Wow!
But we got him to eat one. We got him to have one.
I have not seen Frank in a while. Of course, Frank, when he was at Toms River East, I had the pleasure of working with Frank, and still one of the greatest football players that I've ever been associated with as far as coaching is concerned.
Jim, how much weight has he dropped?
I can't believe.
Oh, he's down at least 80 pounds since August.
Oh.
He looks like a different person.
Wow. I'm dying to see him. Good. Well, wish him luck for us on his diet. I was going to say he never met a diet that he liked, that's for sure, but I'm glad he finally kicked it. That's good.
He looks great. He He's a great coach. And the kids love him. He does a great job for us.
Coach, tell us a little bit about your starter, your second-year starter, Ryan Van Wickle, your quarterback.
Okay, well, Ryan actually got a lot of playing time my first year when he was a sophomore. So
right.
I would say he's like a 2.5-year starter. He's starting to really get what we're trying to do. This is his second offensive coordinator, and he's really the last couple of weeks, even against Central Regional last week, he's starting to put together his reads. He's looking like. It's a shame. Right about now, I'd love to keep him for another year, and his career's winding down, but he really is coming along, and he's become the guy that we hoped he would be.
And the other guy I want to mention is your big-time lineman, Jared DeCenzo.
Yeah. Jared's been a 3-year starter for us. He's on the field 95% of the night. He comes off for water and kickoff team, and that's about it. He's a staple there. He's another guy that, I'm going to look around next August and I'm going to wonder where he is because he's been here as long as I've been the head coach. It's going to be sad to see him go, but he is a leader. He's a big kid. He's our center. Plays a lot D-line for us too. So he's a key for us, and hopefully tomorrow night he's going to have a good game for himself against those big twin brothers.
Yeah, the Nobile brothers, right?
No.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nobile brothers.
Yeah. No doubt about it. Not easy. We're talking with Jim Sharples, the third-year coach at Jackson Liberty. Coach, you've kind of been like around 500 each of your 3 years there. Certainly, it's a school that's had to come some adversity. You know, Timmy Osborne, really the father of the program, the founder of the program, the head coach prior to you, passing away suddenly. You know, you took over the reins after that, after being an assistant. But like I said, kind of right around 500 every year. Do you feel like you're building towards something? I know you probably want to, get those win totals up, but are you happy where you're at, and do you feel like you're starting to build a little something?
Yeah, I actually do feel good about our future. We had our biggest freshman class as far as a football program. We had 34 kids out. They had a winning season. They lost by 1 point to Jackson Memorial. So looking down at the freshman class. It's positive. I have, I do lose 11 seniors, but, hopefully we could build from the bottom up. I have a great coaching staff down at the freshman level that I'm really proud of what they've been doing for me. And our JV team had a winning record this year as well. So, yeah, we're trying to get things going in the right direction. Timmy, I was with him when we started here, and, it was hard working through all the kinks and the early years that we had to go through a lot of things. And, in the shadow of a great program on the other side of town, it's been tough. But what I do is we're starting to come around a little bit, and hopefully, tomorrow's a springboard. We're going to come out and we're going to play, and, we're going to let the chips fall where they are. I told the kids, you're playing with house money. I had explained to them what that meant, but once they understood it, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be loose and easy. We're gonna come out and we're gonna try to make a name for ourselves tomorrow evening.
Coach, you play against that slot option. It's basically assignment football, isn't it?
Absolutely, it is exactly that. And playing against Point Borough 2 weeks ago.
Helps.
It's the same offense, and you have to do your job, and you can't do somebody else's job. Sometimes it gets very tempting, and hopefully we can give them a couple different looks at doing our jobs and not be so predictable, because their quarterback reads really good, and he's the real deal as far as running that triple.
Talking, of course, with Tim Santiago, who's had a record-breaking year running that offensive attack of Brick Memorial. But again, I love your attitude in that, hey guys, there are a lot of teams that'll be sitting home or playing consolation games this weekend. We're still in the real McCoy, and you use that as something to build on, and obviously motivation for the underclassmen to come back next year to get a taste of the playoffs and hopefully make it something that they can improve on the following year.
Yes, absolutely. I'm bringing about 10 freshmen up from my freshman team to get a taste of this and to show them, what we're trying to do here. There's tremendous tradition over there, and it's something that we're trying to build is an identity and tradition, and hopefully we could see, what it's supposed to be like over there. One of my coaches works in the building at Brick Memorial, and, he's getting a hard time every day. Comes back, he tells the kids a little something about what they're ribbing them and things like that. But we're gonna like you said, we're gonna come out and we're just gonna take the experience for what it's worth, and we're gonna lay it all out there.
Jim, congratulations really on a great accomplishment. Second time in the state playoffs in the 9-year history of the program. Clearly something that's always one of your goals when you start out. Summer practice in July and August, and you've achieved that, and we wish you the best of luck tomorrow night. Please tell Frank we send our regards, and we're really happy for him.
Okay, I will. Thank you, fellas. Have a good evening.
You too. That's Jim Sharples, the third-year coach from the Lions of Jackson Liberty. One of those good stories, man. I'll tell you what, there's no way in the beginning of the year I thought they'd have any chance of earning a playoff spot. And we didn't ask him. He did mention the program on the other side of town, talking about how good Jackson Memorial is. How about the fact that they got to play him the first game of the season?
Well, that used to be later, right? They moved it to the first.
That was the end. It was Thanksgiving,
yeah.
But, they play that game, and, it's been they've gotten thumped pretty good the last couple of years, and that's a tough way to start your season. But, they've rebounded. If you think about it, they were 0-1. They've gone 4-4 since. You mentioned the Point Borough win, which was huge.
Huge win.
And how about they back that up and almost upset Central last week, losing by 1 point.
13-12.
So, Jackson Liberty's found a little success, and good for them.
That coach that he was talking about was Keith Farr, who got the physical education health job for my son when my son was elevated to the athletic director's job. So he is in the school every day, in among the coaches in the phys ed department, and I would imagine getting a little ribbing.
Yeah, well.
So he'll be pretty familiar with,
yeah,
going the locker room and everything else tomorrow night.
Won't be a problem. That's one of those games, by the way. That game, Jackson Liberty and Brick Memorial, of course, in the Central Jersey Group 4 bracket, which will also find, in the irony of ironies, Jackson Liberty's playing Brick Memorial and Jackson Memorial's playing Brick.
Yep.
So, I mean, you got the Brick Jackson doubleheader there. Of course, the Jackson Memorial Brick game we will broadcast tomorrow night. That is the Jersey Mike's game of the week. And the other local team in that section is Freehold Borough, the 4th seed, who will host Allentown. So you could have 3 of the 4 from the shore. Right?
The winner of the Memorial and Liberty game will get the winner of Allentown and Freehold.
That's correct.
Right.
So that could be an interesting semifinal there. As you said, one of the many intriguing possibilities next weekend that we'll obviously spend a lot of time on next week. We're going to take we have one more break to take, and then we'll come back and we'll make the transition and talk Monmouth University football. The Hawks getting ready for their home finale on Saturday.
Back to work for the coach.
After the bye week. We'll find out about that bye week and how the prep is for Presbyterian on Saturday. You're listening to the Thursday night high school football show on the Shore Sports Network.
Water Street Bar and Grill in downtown Toms River is the ultimate sports bar. With 32 HD TVs, Water Street brings you all the action of every football game. Located right on the water, Water Street is the perfect place to enjoy the finest views of the shore. Whether you want to grab a few drinks with friends, catch your favorite game, eat a delicious meal, or enjoy live entertainment every Friday and Saturday nights, Water Street is the place for a good time. Located across from Huddy Park on Robbins Parkway in downtown Toms River. Visit them at bakerswaterstreet.com.
For the latest high school football news, visit Shore Sports.
Coach Callahan is on the line.
News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310, and WOBMAM.com.
Well, clearly, Ed, one of my favorite college nicknames, the Blue Hose of Presbyterian. That's H-O-S-E, by the way. Let me clarify that. The Blue Hose of Presbyterian make the trip up here to New Jersey on Saturday. They'll take on Monmouth University. That is the Hawks' home finale, a game, a 1 o'clock, 1:04 kickoff. And the head coach, of course, of Monmouth University is Coach Kevin Callahan, whose team's coming off the bye week. So, Coach, I know we talked to you last week about the agenda with the bye coming up. How did it go? And it came at a good time. Do you have some guys who healed up a little better, be ready to go Saturday?
Well, it did come at a good time. And as I said last week, 10 weeks into the season, we finally got a break. And not that we were looking for the break, but I think it came at a very good time. We've had some guys nicked up, as all teams do as you get deep into the season. And the bye week, the theme that we had was about recovery and rest. And that's what we did with a number of our players. We did go out and work very hard on 2 of the days, on Wednesday and Thursday, and got after it pretty good in full pads. But it was the theme of the week was really about getting our guys rested and ready to finish the final 2 games. And I think we will have some guys back this week. I know we'll have some guys back. We'll have Levon Chaney back. He looked very good all this week in practice. He didn't do much during the bye week, but he's ready to go this week. And a couple other guys who had been nursing some smaller injuries that they were playing with, should be a little bit more healed up and ready to go this week.
Coach, where is Presbyterian, by the way?
Presbyterian, for those listening, is in Clinton, South Carolina.
South Carolina,
it's in what they call the upstate region of South Carolina, in that Spartanburg, Greenville area.
Okay, very good.
And, Ed, they'll be flying into LaGuardia Airport tomorrow, where they'll land at around 10 o'clock in the morning. And then they'll make their way down. As I told the coach today, which I get to in a minute, we'll see if we can send a police escort so you can beat the Friday traffic.
Well, hey, whatever happens with that. I don't have any control over the traffic in this area.
You sure do not.
Coach, big day Saturday for the seniors. It is Senior Day. Tell us a little bit about the ceremony and how you treat Senior Day.
Well, this is a big day for the guys that are finishing their careers. They've put in 4, and in some cases 5 great years of service and have contributed tremendously to our program. And it's just a small chance to honor them with their parents, before the start of the game. We really do our big senior ceremony at our team-ending banquet, which comes up the second week in December. But this gives a chance for the fans to see them and their parents come onto the field, and we introduce them. And it's a great opportunity for them to kind of reflect on all that they've contributed to the program over the last 4 years.
Off the top of your head, Coach, not to put you on the spot, but do you know how many guys will come out on the field Saturday at Monmouth Stadium for the last time?
We have 21 4th and 5th year seniors, and of that 21, there are 5 that really have an option or the ability to take a 5th year next year.
Gotcha.
So it's anywhere from 16 to 21 that will be out there on Saturday. It's a great group of guys, and one of the guys I do want to mention, and because he's a local guy, is Joe Johnson from Manchester Township. And Joe was just honored for the 3rd consecutive year by being named to the COSIDA Academic All-District team. It's an outstanding achievement. He's a great young man. He's a great football player, and he's a great student. Over a 3.75 grade point average, Dean's List every semester he's been at the school, and intends to go to law school after graduation, and it's just very fitting that he was honored in such a way.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned him. Obviously, we covered him in his high school career, but he has just been one of those great players who's been nothing but a positive from your program from the time he stepped onto campus.
He has, and this year he's one of our 4 team captains, and he was awarded that honor by a vote from our team, and that just gives you an indication of the amount of respect and how they hold Joe in their opinion. And he's always been one of our leaders. He does everything the way we want a Monmouth football player to do things, and I'm just very pleased that he was honored again for the 3rd consecutive year.
Coach, you had a chance to get out and see quite a few games, you and your staff. I know you can't talk about any players in particular, but how benefiting was it?
It was a great week. We spent Monday and Tuesday with the entire staff on the road, and then most of them got back out on the road after our Wednesday and Thursday morning practices, and everybody was out on Friday and Saturday. We were able to see a lot of games, not only in the Shore but throughout the state, and I think it really gave us a good step up. There's a number of players in the local area that we have a high level of interest in and who have a high level of interest in us. And, we just got to see what happens here during the next 3 or 4 weeks to close those things out.
Kevin, I got a chance to talk with the Presbyterian coach today who was really a good guy. Had a really nice conversation with Harold Nichols because on Saturday,
Harold Nichols.
Yep, on Saturday I'll be doing the game with Matt Harmon on ESPN3. So chatted with him today. Boy, I know they're 1-8, but I hate, if there's ever a 1-8 team that's better than their record, these guys have been in just about every game.
They have, Kevin, and they're one of those teams that, first of all, they play great defense. They rely on their defense to keep the game close, to get it into the 4th quarter, and then to win the game in the 4th quarter. And that's exactly what happened in our game with them last year. They beat us 18-12. They scored 11 points in the 4th quarter. They run the ball extremely well, and they had a time of possession advantage of 38-22 a year ago. And they're really playing the same way this year. They're a bit younger this year. They graduated a number of guys off last year's team, but they lose 13-21 to Liberty, 10-14 to Gardner-Webb, 17-24 to Coastal Carolina, and have the ball 1st and goal from the 10-yard line going in at the end of the game and came up empty on 4th downs. And to the best team in the conference, in my opinion, Charleston Southern, they lost that game 10-7. So they're in every game. They play great defense, and it's a game where we are going to have to play well on both sides of the ball.
And of course, when it comes to defending them, they're really a running team. They've had struggles at quarterback, and even the coach said today there'll be nothing fancy here. You know they're going to run it, and you've got to just try and stop it.
Well, Darrell Bridges, their running back, is the number 13th ranked rusher in the nation this year. He's averaging over 100 yards per game, and that's what they're going to do, and they don't make any bones about it. They've used 3 different quarterbacks this season. The one that they have playing right now, it seems to be a little bit more of a dual threat than the other 2 guys have been. He has the ability to keep the ball. He has the ability to run with it. He's very fast. And when you combine that with what they do with Bridges at the running back position, they're a very dangerous team.
Well, now that the coach told Kevin that it'll be pure vanilla, tell the DC to watch out for the double reverse pass in the first quarter, okay?
Well, I tell you what, Ed, they run 3 reverses in
3 minutes.
Every game that they've played this year, they've run at least 3 reverses.
There you go.
And what you're going to see from them on Saturday is a lot of motion, a lot of wide receiver motion through the backfield, behind the tailback, in front of the quarterback. Every motion you can think of, and they give you a lot of window dressing there. But what they do is they pound the ball. They have a good offensive line. They get downhill with it. They're a good power, counter, and sweep team. We're going to be ready for a physical game.
The Blue Hose of Presbyterian at Monmouth Stadium Saturday at 1 o'clock. Last home game, I know the home game before that was homecoming. You had the great crowd against Coastal Carolina. It'd be nice to see a lot of people come out on what should be a beautiful Saturday to watch football and root on the Monmouth Hawks. So, Kevin, look forward to seeing you on Saturday, and thanks for your time as always.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
All right, there goes Coach Kevin Callahan. His Hawks.
I say they have to be favored in the last 2, right, Kev?
You know what?
Get to 3-3 in the conference.
That would be a tremendous achievement, to be honest with you. And it would be really something to build on. But Saturday is going to be tough. This Presbyterian team is ridiculous. They're in every game in the fourth quarter, but we'll see what happens. And as I said, I'll be doing the game on ESPN 3 that day on the website with Matt. I got to pull out the jacket and tie head on Saturday
for the internet, right? Yeah.
Well, we're on TV.
Yeah.
It's TV on the internet, Okay. And Matt tells me, I can wear.
You got to borrow. You have to borrow a tie or something.
I'm okay. He says they only shoot us from the waist up. So I said, can I wear shorts? And he said it probably wouldn't look good with this jacket and a tie, and a nice shirt. But looking forward to that on Saturday. Should be a lot of fun. I want a special thanks to all the people, the guys who made trips tonight, Don Klein and Kenny Pickett from Ocean, and, of course, John Kay and Isaiah Phillip from Matawan. Appreciate both of them heading south to spend some time with us. Jim Sharples, the Jackson Liberty coach, of course, our own Bob Batters. And of course, Kevin Callahan, the Monmouth University coach. As always, to the guys who make it all happen, and that is Zach Collins back at the Shore Sports Network studios, and, of course, Tom Tremblay right here on location at Water Street, making sure we don't screw it up too much, and fortunately we did. Ed, I'll see you tomorrow night.
Yes, I will. I'll be at Brick again.
Brick and Jackson tomorrow night. It's the Jersey Mike's Game of the Week. Looking forward to that one. You've been listening to the Thursday Night High School Football Show on the Shore Sports Network.